Less than 50% peanuts asterisk. I don't trust that as far as I can throw it. I didn't think that would open the can. I don't trust that this is actually 50% peanuts. I think it's more. So I'm gonna prove it today by sorting every individual nut and seeing what all is what. Alright, the nuts are sorted out. It is not actually as imbalanced as I thought, entirely due to the almonds. Got a vast array of peanuts, a good supply of almonds, some cashews, hazelnuts, and can we get some more love for the pecans, guys? And of course there's this miscellaneous nut dust that is unidentifiable, and that much melted snow. I don't know why they put snow in my nuts. Bring out the scale! 1.7 ounces of cashews, 1.1 ounces of hazelnuts, 0.7 ounces of pecans, 5.9 ounces of almonds, 8 pounds of peanuts. That's absolutely ridiculous. Actually, it's 5.5 ounces. I think I was wrong, guys. By weight, peanuts actually aren't even the weightiest nut in there. There's just so many almonds. Although, these three are terribly underrepresented. If we are going off of weight, it is true that there is less than 50% peanuts. However, I feel it is deceptive to market your nuts by their weight. For, as when we are counting population, we do not count them by their weight, rather we count them by their number. Using weight to determine percentage of nuts is deceptive. If that were the case, then the United States would have twice the population of China. And I have discovered a scandal. All of these nuts' weight put together equals 14.9 ounces, when the package says there are only 14.75. I do not appreciate being lied to as a customer. I heavily debated trying to do fractions and for all the halves of nuts count them as only a half, but I realized if we were taking a census of the population, we wouldn't count people who are missing 2 legs as half a person. So I'm just going to do it like this because that's easier. 59 cashews. 18 pecans. I'm counting all of these little bits as just one. That is abysmal. 37 hazelnuts. 156 almonds. I'm afraid there are more almonds than all of these combined. $479 peanuts, plus 7 that fell out when I threw the can. but we won't count those because those were incidental casualties. 479. I'm afraid this is more than 50% peanuts. Southern Grove. There, these are the real numbers. By population, there is way more than 50% peanuts. 64.2%, with the runner-up being 20.5%. And the Forgotten Three are even more outnumbered than they were before. Yes, if these were warring nations, the Peanuts would come out on top simply by their numbers. The Peanuts have taken Greenland! Tensions have been growing worldwide for years now, but now first blood has been drawn. Apologies about Antarctica. It kinda got destroyed in nuclear testing. We still got a little bit of it, though. Peanuts organize a military force going from Greenland to Iceland. Iceland is well armed, but they are no match for the mass of the Peanuts. With an immediate naval threat from the west, the Almonds organize their forces in Europe. With their forces being diverted to the west, though, the Cashews take their chance, and they wage an offensive from China up into Mongolia. The Almonds are unprepared for the offensive, and Mongolia is captured. The Cashews wage a very strong offensive on Pakistan and Afghanistan, and while they sustain casualties, they do manage to capture those as well. The Almonds repel repeated naval assaults from the west. They quickly send armies to cross the seas of Alaska. They are fended off for a while and sustain many casualties, but they are able to take land, driving the Almonds westward. The Almonds are being pressed from the east, west, and the south. And to make matters even worse, the Pecans decide to mobilize and take the Middle East. Fighting 3 wars at once is no easy task, and the Almonds start to crumble. Though they are heavily fortified to the east and the Peanuts are taking massive casualties, they have the numbers to just keep throwing force at it. And little by little, the Almonds are eaten away. They mobilize more men through the Atlantic, and they finally manage to make landfall in the United Kingdom. They have breached the Almonds from the east and from the west. The Pecans have heavy forces in the Middle East and are able to eat through Iran. Meanwhile, the Peanuts' thirst for blood cannot be satiated. They organize several strategic attacks in Venezuela, Colombia, Peru, and Ecuador. Caught off guard, the hazelnuts are easily swamped. It is a bloody battle, but they prevail with their numbers. As the Cashews trade blows with the Almonds, reality sets in. The Almonds will not be able to last long against 3 foes. And realizing that the Peanuts' ultimate goal is world domination, the Almonds send out an ultimatum to the Cashews, Pecans, and Hazelnuts. They ask them to unite, to join their forces for a while, for if they do not, the whole world will be lost to the Peanuts. Reluctantly, the Cashews and Pecans agree. While the Hazelnuts are very hesitant at first, as they have pressed in from both sides, they soon after follow. The Cashews send forces north through the Pacific Ocean. They occupy the Borean Sea and stop forces from the Peanuts from crossing over from Alaska to Russia. As their reinforcements are cut off, the Peanuts remaining in the east part of Russia are pressed hard. As the Cashews come in from the south and the Almonds push in from the west, their forces dwindle. Reinforcement Peanuts arrive to Europe, but because the tension in the Middle East is settled, the Almonds are able to reorganize more forces to the west, and while taking heavy losses, they are slowly able to drive them back. The forces they had left in Europe retreated back to the Americas. Meanwhile, the Hazelnuts are being hard pressed. Their forces are dwindling fast. The Pecans mobilize their forces in the Middle East and send them to South America. And slowly but surely, Peanuts are driven from South America. Huge forces are sent to reclaim South America. The Pecans hold the wall, now in the defensive as they are taking catastrophic losses. The Peanuts reluctantly retreat. The Cashews send a barrage from Australia and begin to fire upon Mexico. Peanuts are being pushed back. They are losing ground fast. What forces the Hazelnuts have left, they send through the Atlantic. The Almonds manage to take back Iceland, but cannot quite retake Greenland. With more mobilized forces from the Allies pressing in, the Peanuts cannot last for much longer. Mexico is taken by the Pecans, and Alaska is also breached by the Cashews. The Almonds retake part of Greenland. Only with this alliance can they defeat the Peanuts once and for all. But unfortunately for them, the alliance will not last. The Pecans, Cashews, and Hazelnuts have been grumbling against the Almonds as they feel as they are unfairly treated, and as they are losing men very fast. They soon begin to lose interest in the war. As the Almonds are mobilizing in the Atlantic, the Pecans withdraw to sustain casualties. The Hazelnuts shortly follow as they have sustained horrible losses in the War of South America. With the Pecans and the Hazelnuts gone, the forces of the Cashews are overwhelmed by the Peanuts. Many are slain and the few that are not retreat back to Australia. They mobilize what they have left and breach Brazil. The Hazelnuts are nearly extinct. The Almonds try to mitigate peace between all of the remaining nations, but it is futile. They are pushed back out of Greenland, and their forces in the Atlantic are swarmed and defeated. The Peanuts put a hold on the aggression due to their heavy losses, and the Almonds are able to mobilize more defense to the south. south. At first there is peace, but various skirmishes eventually provoke the almonds to invade the cashews. They retake Mongolia. The almonds now occupy most of Asia, and they continue their advancement. The pecans, who still have an alliance with the cashews, invade the Middle East once more. Their offensive force is very strong and quickly occupies the entirety of the Middle East. The cashews withdraw from the hazelnuts as they are being pressed from the north. They hold the line in Malaysia, and the almonds can press no further. As the pecans wreak havoc in the Middle East, a group of almonds is set to take their defensives in Africa. As most of their fighting force is in the Middle East, it is not well defended. Africa is slowly taken over by the almonds. The peanuts eventually regroup and quickly storm South America. Because of their weakened forces, the hazelnuts are unable to put up much of a fight and are quickly overtaken and eradicated. South America has fallen and the hazelnuts are no more. The pecans continue to wreak havoc and move into Russia. The peanuts make two offensives at once, into the south part of Africa and back into Europe they go. The almonds are fighting too many wars at once and are quickly overtaken. The remaining forces retreat through the Middle East, but they run into the pecan. The almonds and the pecans have a great struggle, and the almonds trying to retreat through the Middle East are wiped out. As the peanuts continue to spread over Europe, Africa is in shambles. Peanut forces are substantially weakened, but they are still able to take the south part of Africa. And with the almonds in the north, the pecans return and clean them out quickly. But it is too late. They hardly have any land to return to. The pecan nation is completely destroyed. The peanuts have occupied the Americas, Africa, and Europe. The remaining almonds push through Indonesia, finally breaking the cashew forces. They breach through Indonesia and they take Australia, and the cashews are destroyed. The peanuts mobilize their forces that they have left and press in on the almonds through Southeast Asia. Still sustaining losses, they overtake Indonesia. Australia is quickly surrounded. A few of the almonds flee to what is left of Antarctica. Australia is soon taken over by the peanuts, and they obtain near world domination. The war is over. The world is dominated by the peanuts, and the almonds that fled to Antarctica live to fight another day. Until 3 years later, when a squad of peanuts went on an exploration trip to Antarctica, discovered the almonds there, all were killed except one, and then this little peanut cried wee 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 back to Australia, where he mobilized reinforcements and returned to Antarctica to annihilate the almonds once and for all. Thus, by their sheer number, and their number alone, the peanuts obtain world domination. All of this could have been completely avoided if Southern Grove had simply told the truth on their packaging.